Good morning, everybody. I am Pam Myers with Pam Myers Social Media, and welcome to Conversations with Jane. Jane is a client of mine who vlogs weekly, and if you are wanting to take your business online and do vlogging, then give me a shout out because I would love to be able to help you, whether it's with your digital marketing, your social media, or vlogging. So, good morning, Jane. Nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Jane Phillips here. We do this every week at 10:30 Mountain Time, so you can translate to your time. You may need a clock if you're out of the country.
Mhm.
Pam has been helping me. I'm going to give a little plug for her. She's been helping me with my social media for over a year now, and it's really helped me stay present because that's not my skill set. And she volunteered to help me with this vlog, so that you could get a little more of my personality every week for whatever that's worth.
Yeah,
So
thank
I'm
you.
really grateful to her, and we've had a good relationship. So, little background, I'm a medical intuitive. I am a paranormal investigator. Actually, clearing energy is what I do. And I also am a medical intuitive and emotion code practitioner certified in both. So I work with individual clients with their energy, and I also work with people who have spaces that just don't feel right, or
Yeah.
houses for realtors that they just don't sell and they should. This is a really hot market right now, and I just got contacted by a really large, about a really large property, almost $2 million worth that's been on the market for 3 years. Something's the matter. So, which I'm going to
Wow.
investigate, see if I'm
Yeah,
supposed to help.
particularly in this market, something is definitely the matter.
Yeah. Houses, properties, bigger properties might take a week or so to sell. Others are selling with multiple offers within days.
Right.
This, I don't know whether I'll be allowed. I have to make a call to the real estate agent to find out if he's open to having a conversation about helping. Because when you get those big properties, there's a pretty big commission on the line. So if I can help take some of the stuff off, which I'm aware there is stuff on the property. But today, dear Pam had an idea for our conversation. So I thought she could start it out, and we'll kind of go back and forth today about the idea of it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. And thank you for that lovely compliment. I really appreciate that. You know what? We do have that short topic to discuss. But before we do that, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand the terminology. And maybe we should just touch upon it for a moment, like talk about briefly what does a psychic medium do, what's a medical intuitive do, and what's a paranormal investigator. Can you just take a moment to kind of go, you just did a tiny bit but a little bit more, I think, to help people
Okay.
understand.
All right. Thank you. Well, the psychic medium part is not the biggest part of my practice, but it contributes. So, being psychic, meaning I can pick information up from the ethers. The mediumship means that if someone has passed on, is no longer in physical form, they've died, I can talk to them many times. It isn't so for people who think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get her to talk to all my relatives. I'm
Mm.
not the first person you should call for that, but if you're trying to get information about your loved ones, I usually can get information to help with that. And especially if somebody has recently died, they're usually still in a place that I can talk to them and kind of assure you, if it's happened to you, that everybody's okay. That's the number one question that everyone has. The medical intuitive piece came about as a result of taking training in Minnesota around being psychic, and found out, and also coaching training, and found out I was doing some healing work. So I enrolled in a medical intuitive class in Minnesota, and ended up deciding that that would be a good umbrella to have some skill sets for all the things I was doing, sort of a way to give me some credibility. So I
Mhm.
finished that up. And what that allows me to do is I can do body scans. So I can see if your heart's off and if there's an underlying reason for it. that's energetic. I can do, I can reset hormones. I teach people to do some of this. So if they have heart arrhythmia, then I give them just a little protocol if they're waking up in the middle of the night all concerned, because it happens to me sometimes. Just a little reset thing that you can do to stop it. It's pretty instantaneous. So I work with the physical stuff. I work with, as a medical intuitive, with what I now call malware. I used to call it stinking thinking, but it's really, if you're into plants, you could have a tree in your system, a mental tree that's getting in the way, shadowing your ability to do things. But to me, it's malware from life experiences. So you don't have to blame yourself for having some bad thinking, because it's really, you don't get mad at your computer because it got malware. You might be mad that it happened, but you're not going to blame your computer unless you didn't have it backed up. But the computer didn't cause it; it came in from outside, and that's what happens with our thought patterns from life, or it can even come in as from genealogy. So that's the medical intuitive side. I do a lot with that. And then the last piece is the paranormal, which I didn't think I was going to be doing, but I started doing that in 2010. Just working with, if somebody has ghosts in their house, helping them help those ghosts go on to the realm where they need to go. And it is advanced to about 50 other energies that I look for and help remove from properties. But the paranormal, the investigative part is the smaller piece. I investigate remotely, so I do it from my office. And with my pendulum, I say, what's in this property? I have pictures of the property and all of that to connect in. So that's the investigative part, which may take a little bit of time. But what I'm really doing is paranormal clearings. So if you've got a house that's in your way, energetically, or a room, you love everything but your office, or you love everything but the corner of the living room, you may have some stuck energy there. And I work with people all over the United States, and actually a few internationally, to clear properties, because I don't need to be local. So really the investigation, I use that word because that's more common for people hearing paranormal investigator. But what I'm really doing is not coming in with a bunch of equipment. I'm actually clearing your space. Or goes over to the medical intuitive side. If you've got energies on you, I clear those too. So that's my parts: medical intuitive and paranormal investigation clearings, and psychic medium. So that's what that is.
Thank you. And talking about having a tree that might be, overshadowing you or blocking your vision, kind of helps us to segue into our topic this morning, which was how you can sometimes run into people and just pick up a vibe. And honestly, I want to step back for a second and just say, before I had met you, I was not a true believer in what you do. And I've known you for over a year now. And in working with you, I've gotten, I really have come around full circle. And yesterday, I was at the gym and somebody walked across the gym, and I got this really, I just looked up and saw it and thought, oh my gosh, there's some big negative energy coming off of this individual. And I didn't even want to look at them. This individual was looking around the gym, and I thought, oh, don't even look at me. I don't want to even, cross eyesight with you. That's how negative it felt. And it was real. And then I thought, you know what, a year ago or a year and a half ago, before I had met Jane, I would have totally disregarded that. And I think we don't often open ourselves up enough to, to pick up those kinds of influences, right? Like if you can meet people and you think, oh, maybe I'm not so crazy about this person, but I should give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, you probably shouldn't, right? That's your intuition telling you.
Yep. So Pam and I talked a little bit about this before the show started here today, and so this is going to run a little longer than normal because of the introduction, but just there are people, I think there's more than one category. There are people like Pam saw in the gym. It was male, a pretty strong energy person that probably has a pretty dark side. It's possible because of that he's picked up other energies that just kind of fill his energy field and make it even darker. He could have ghost type energies, which I call possessions. He could have something dark forces on him. And sometimes with these individuals, if you have somebody like me clear their energy field, they'll feel fine again, or they'll feel fine to you again. People who are as strongly, you're picking up that much energy from somebody probably is somebody that's kind of a magnet to the darker things, and they may be interested in the darker things. So even if I would, or somebody else would clear their energy field, because they're the type of person that looks at dark things on the web. I'm not talking about the dark web necessarily, but they're attracted to conspiracy theories and some of those things, and false news, because it's really hard to know what's right nowadays. Those people, even if you clear them, they're going to be interested. They're going to attract more again. So what Pam was getting to is that if you run into somebody like that, like at the gym, there are people I would walk up to in the gym because they're doing something I haven't done, or they look pretty friendly, and it's like, I've never lifted or worked on this machine, and it's somebody you could walk over to. This is somebody you could walk to the other side of the gym for, and for safety. So if you're out in the world and you're running into somebody that feels really dark for you, you don't have to clear them, but it would be beneficial to stay away from those people. And if you personally are attracted to conspiracy theories and what's going on with the election and all of that stuff, and you're glued to the news, and I might pick Fox News, but the other stations are also biased. There's a lot of bias out there that I'm really aware as I watch. Just be sensitive that you're picking up energies from the computer and from the TV that are going to influence and could make you dark also. So I think not to discount what you're picking up from people, but also not to blame them for it. I had somebody way back that we went out for breakfast, and we were eating, and she looked, and because I do work with alien type energies, I'm aware of it. I live in Santa Fe. Everybody here, you can have a conversation about aliens, and nobody says you're nuts. So I'm in a different part of the world than a lot of you listening. But I was out for breakfast with this woman, and she said, I can't believe they came into the restaurant with all those alien energies on them. And it was like, I doubt that they know that they have that. And pick on them for me to pick on you because you have dark energies on you, I just have to be aware. And that's your choice. We're all got free will to do what we want. But I think use the discernment. If someone makes you uncomfortable, don't decide to walk in and see what's going on. That is not a time to go inspect, to find out what's making you uncomfortable. Just limit the conversation, and those are the kind of friends that you need to have in your life. And it's also important that you don't think that you realize you can't fix people. I was telling Pam that I had a couple of clients this week who've used me before. One asked me to clear all the employees in her business because they'd been, and that makes sense to me, right? Just to kind of take the edge off It doesn't mean that the employees might not get gunked up, but I give her a report so she can see which employees are more likely to have problems, because some of the employees had no issues and some had more. But understand if you have a family member or somebody you care about that's really heading in a dark direction, you can try and have them cleared, but it may or may not work. And it's kind of goes into the realm of being codependent
Yeah.
to fix things. But
And as women, we tend to, women tend to be fixers, right? We want, you know, to smooth things over, to make everything work for everybody, for everybody to be happy. But we sometimes don't listen to.
Well, and we're wired for that. Women's
Right.
brains, and this isn't to be sexist, women's brains and men are different. I don't remember from Dr. Amen clinics and some of that, or some of the other things I've read, the number of neural pathways or all of that. Women are wired to notice a lot more things than men are, which goes back to what I tell people who are in relationships and they're frustrated. The men get frustrated because women can't focus, their lack of focus, because we see everything, right?
Right.
And women get frustrated because the men can't multitask. We're unique, and some of us are neither, right? Have to acknowledge we have all of us who are in the middle, right? We may not identify with either. So your brains are going to be somewhere in the middle with that. And just to understand that piece that we're different, and we're going to attract energies based upon things we do. And if we're out in the world, we can carefully choose who we want to spend time with.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Any other thoughts you had on that after
No. Yeah, no, that was really good. I think you covered it.
It's this is tricky.
It
but
is.
I also don't just recommend you turning your radar on and walking around going, "Ooh, oh yeah," and
Yeah.
but if you have a strong reaction, as Pam did, to somebody, then don't ignore it. Or even if you have a mild unsettling thing, I have a friend of late that I let the mild unsettling kind of just be okay because I liked other things, and in the end, that the mild unsettling became just enough that the friendship can't continue. Because things that I counted on that person to do, they couldn't, or there were excuses and all of that. And I'm one of those people that notes someone's behavior in the beginning and decides if I can put up with it. For example, someone's late all the time we get together. So I just understand that because everything else about them I like. But if that gets to be a deal breaker for me, then I just gently let them go.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Best advice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you feel you've picked up some energy, I can help. And I'll probably be pretty strong in trying not to be judgmental if you're some of the things you're choosing to do are bringing energies to you. And I've done that myself, and I've had to back away because I've been injured because of the energy work I do. Sometimes I get a little attacked, but I don't go around blaming dark energies. I blame myself for walking into the mud hole versus blaming the energies for being in the mud hole. So so just a little advice, and be careful what you're doing. Less TV is probably good.
Right.
You know, less social media is probably good. But you're on your own path with all of this and your own learnings. I can help. My website is down below. It sends you to my ghost busting website, as well as my individual website. And where I do medical intuitive work. So anyway, thanks for allowing for a long call today, everybody. And thanks as always, Pam, for hosting. I'm Jane Phillips, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening to our conversation this morning. Bye-bye.